there, fantasy owners. Welcome to Lift the Cup Fantasy, or LTC Fantasy as some call it. Today is our Waiver Wire episode where we're going to look at some players to hopefully help you out not only this week but future weeks as well. We will break it down into goaltenders, defensemen, and forwards. And don't forget to look in the description because I will mention where in the timeline to find the goalies, defensemen, and forwards. That way, in case you need to come back to the episode due to injury or roster needs, you can come back and find that piece you need. If you do need to do that, don't forget to subscribe. That way it is easier to find the video later on, and we can get you that piece you need to hopefully take it to the other guy. So we'll jump right into it. Some goalies to look at. I look at Nico Dawes from New Jersey. He's really taken over the crease in New Jersey. He's only owned in 10% of Yahoo leagues. He started the last 7 games straight, and he's gone 4-3. So above 500, and wins is what really matters in fantasy, and goals against and save percentage is a little secondary. The next one is Vitek Vanecek from Washington, owned in 66% of Yahoo leagues. Since back from injury, he started 5 of 6 games, going 4-1 with 1 shutout. So he is available in about a third of leagues, so hopefully he is available in yours for you. Next one's Craig Anderson from Buffalo, only owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues. He's also back from injury. He's 4-1 in his last 5 starts, so definitely might be a little bit of a sneaky pick there. Another one is Mikko Koskinen from Edmonton, owned in 52% of Yahoo leagues, so his ownership is starting to creep up there. He's started 6 of the last 8 games. One of them was a back-to-back scenario, so you can see why he didn't start that one. And in those 6 starts, he's gone 4-1-1 with 1 shutout, and he's really taken over the crease in Edmonton. And the last one's Cal Peterson. He's up to 46% owned. They were alternating starts a bit, but he has started 7 of the last 11, so he might be starting to take away some of the starts from Quick. And in those 7 starts, he's 5-2 with 1 shutout. We'll move along to some defensemen to look at. I look at Noah Dobson from the Islanders. He's owned in 64% of Yahoo leagues, so fantasy owners are really starting to take notice of him. He plays on the second pairing and top power play unit, and he has 9 points in his last 9 games with 29 shots on goal and 15 blocks. If he isn't available, another one from the Islanders to look at is Ryan Pulock. He's only owned in 16% of Yahoo leagues. He's also playing on that second pairing and second power play unit, and he has 6 points in his last 5 games with 12 shots on goal and 12 blocks. Another one from Anaheim is Cam Fowler, owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues. He plays on that top pairing and second power play unit, and he has 6 points in his last 7 games, so he's really been good the last couple of weeks. And another one from Calgary is Rasmus Andersson. As all of Calgary, he's also been hot. He's owned in 58% of Yahoo leagues. Been playing on that top pairing and top power play unit all year, and he has 5 points in his last 4 games to go along with 7 blocks. Another defenseman is Ryan Suter from Dallas, owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that second pairing and second power play unit, and he has 5 points in his last 5 games to go along with 8 blocks, so there is some secondary value there. And another one from Toronto is TJ Brody, only owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, so he is available out there for sure. He's on the second pairing, and he has been bumped up to the second power play unit. And he has 6 assists in his last 4 games. And in those 4 games, he has 9 shots on goal, 9 hits, and 8 blocks. So definitely add some extra value there. Another one is Jared Spurgeon from Minnesota, owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that second pairing and top power play unit, and he has 5 points in his last 6 games to go along with 14 shots on goal. Another one from Montreal is Ben Sherratt, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that top pairing and second power play unit, and he has 9 points in his last 9 games played to go along with 16 blocks. Depending what happens on the deadline, a lot of rumors that he'll go to a contender, so those stats might even improve more. Another one is Brandon Montour from Florida, only owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the third pairing and second power play unit, and he has 5 points in his last 6 games and 14 shots on goal, so he's really had a good last couple of weeks. Going to Arizona, I look at Shane Gostisbehere, owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top pairing and top power play unit, and he has 6 points in his last 5 games, and in those 5 games he's also had 8 blocks. Another one might be more of a stretch / sleeper pick, but it's Brad Hunt from Vancouver, not owned in anywhere, is 0% of leagues, plays on the third pairing and second power play unit, but he has 4 points in his last 6 games. Another one is Evan Bouchard from Edmonton, owned in 42% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that second pairing, but is playing on the top power play unit now. And he has 4 points in his last 4 games. And in those 4 games, he has 11 shots on goal. So almost 3 shots per game, which is really nice. Another one is Damon Severson from New Jersey, owned in 36% of Yahoo leagues. Is playing on that top pairing and top power play unit, and he has 6 points in his last 9 games to go along with 19 shots on goal. Another one is Matthias Ekholm from Nashville, owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on the second pairing and second power play unit, and he had a really slow start. Normally he's right around a 40-45 point defenseman, and you might be seeing that now. He has 3 points in his last 5 games, and in those 5 games he has 12 shots on goal. Another one from Montreal is Jeff Petrie, owned in 51% of Yahoo leagues, is playing on that top pairing. Currently he's not listed as playing on the power play, but he generally gets some power play time too, and he has 3 points in his last 6 games, and in those 6 games he has 12 shots on goal and 13 blocks, so he's definitely adding some extra value there. We'll move along to some forwards. How can you not mention Nick Schmaltz right now? Listed as center right winger, owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the top line and top power play unit, and he has 22 points in his last 10 games and 26 shots on goal. So if he is available, snag him up in your league. He's been hot for a while. Next one is Dylan Strome from Chicago, listed as center right winger, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and top power play unit, and he has 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points in his last 6 games. So he's averaging over a goal a game and almost 2 points a game there. And he has 20 shots on goal in those 6 games. Another one is David Perron from St. Louis, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 63% of Yahoo leagues. So is almost 4 in 10 chance you can find him. Plays on the top line and top power play unit. And he has 8 goals in his last 8 games. And in those 8 games, he has 11 points and 24 shots on goal. Another one from Arizona that you have to definitely take a look at if he's available is Clayton Keller. Listed as left wing, right wing, owned in 55% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that top line and top power play unit. And he's had a really good season. 17 points in his last 11 games to go along with 27 shots on goal. Next one's a veteran that kind of got forgotten about. Paul Stastny from Winnipeg, listed as center left winger, only owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that top line and second power play unit, and he has 8 points in his last 8 games. Another one is Robert Thomas from St. Louis, listed as center right winger, only owned in 26% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line and second power play unit, and he's been just a hair under a point per game for the season, and he's been a little better of late, having 12 points in his last 11 games. Another one from Ottawa is Josh Norris, listed as a center, owned in 46% of Yahoo leagues, is centering that top line and top power play unit, and he has 6 goals in his last 6 games, and in those 6 games he has 8 points and 17 shots on goal. So there's definitely averaging a goal per game and getting a lot of shots. You can't help but notice him right now. Another one is Jean-Gabriel Pageau from the Islanders, listed as a center, only owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues, currently centering the third line, but is on that top power play unit, and he has 10 points in his last 9 games. Another one from the Islanders is Anders Lee, listed as a left winger, only owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues, is on that top line and top power play unit, and he had a little bit of a rough start, but he's really turned it up of late, having 7 goals, 1 assist in his last 4 games, so averaging 2 points per game and 15 shots on goal. Another one that's pretty sneaky is Craig Smith from Boston. Listed as a right winger, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, currently on that third line and second power play unit, but he has 7 goals, 1 assist for 8 points in his last 5 games. So well over a goal per game in the last 5, and in those 5 he has 17 shots on goal. We'll go over to Calgary and I look at Tyler Toffoli, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 66% of Yahoo leagues, so only available in about a third of the leagues out there. He's playing on the third line and top power play unit, and since coming over, he's just been a gem for Calgary, having 11 points in his last 9 games, and he has 31 shots on goal in those 9 games, so over 3 shots per game, well, basically 3.5 shots per game. Another one from Boston is Charlie Coyle, listed as center right winger, only owned at 8% of Yahoo leagues, on that third line and second power play unit, and like Smith, he's been hot of late, having 10 points in his last 11 games. Going over to Nashville, I look at Ryan Johansson, listed as a center, only owned in 27% of Yahoo leagues, is centering that top line now. He's been bumped up from the second of the top line, and he's still on the top power play unit, and he has 8 points in his last 7 games played. Another one is Michael Bunting from Toronto, listed as a left winger, only owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line with Matthews and Marner. Mind you, Matthews is suspended right now, but will be back, and plays on that second power play unit, and he's really thrived piggybacking him, having 14 points in his last 10 games played. Going back to Ottawa, I look at Tim Stützle, listed as center left winger, owned in 36% of Yahoo leagues, currently playing on the second line and top power play unit, and he has 8 points in his last 6 games played. And if hits are considered in your league, he also throws a body. He's had 15 hits in those 6 games. Also going back to the Islanders, Anthony Beauvillier, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and second power play unit, and he's also been really sneaky hot the last week and a half, having 7 assists in his last 4 games. Looking at Montreal, I look at Cole Caulfield, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and top power play unit, and he's living up to the hype as a highly touted prospect. He's been really good the last month, having 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points in his last 11 games, and in those 11 games he's had 36 shots on goal. Another one from Montreal's Arturi Lehkonen, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, currently on the third line and second power play unit. He's currently listed as day-to-day with an upper body injury, so do check his health status. But in his last 6 games, he's had 6 goals and 2 assists prior to the injury. Also, if you do have room on the IR, maybe slip him in there and then you don't have to worry about it. Another one from St. Louis is Ivan Barbashev, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, so I do like that you can fit him anywhere in your forward ranks, only owned in 41% of Yahoo leagues, currently on the third line and second power play unit. He's only had 1 goal in the last 6 games, but right before that he had 7 points in the previous 4 games, so if you catch him on the right time, he's definitely very valuable for you. Going back to Vancouver, I look at Tanner Pearson, listed as a left winger, only owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the top line and second power play unit, and he's been really good since bumping up to the top line. He's had 10 points in his last 10 games played. Another one is Brock Nelson from the Islanders, listed as a center, only owned in 20% of Yahoo leagues, is playing on the second line right now and top power play unit, and he's had 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 games played. We'll go to Washington and look at Connor Sheary, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, is currently playing on that top line. He does kind of go between the first, second, third line, kind of all over the place. He's their little Swiss Army knife. And plays on the second power play unit, but he's had 4 goals and 2 assists in the last 6 games played. Couple from New Jersey to finish is Dawson Mercer, listed as center right winger, only owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the top line and top power play unit with Hughes, and he's benefited from it, having 9 points in his last 10 games. Another one is Jagger Sharangovich, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, only owned in 12% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that top line with Mercer and Hughes and plays on the second power play unit. And he's also been really good, having 9 points in his last 11 games played. I really hope these players do help you out. Don't forget, we will be out later this week with our weekend ads episode to hopefully get you those players to push you over the edge for your fantasy win. And if you did like today's video, please remember to hit like, hit subscribe, and remember that notification bell so you get notified of future episodes. And good luck in week 21, fantasy owners.